it's often said that quality is better than quantity, and in your written testimony, which you will likely repeat in a moment, you provide stats of being subject to 38 congressional investigations into State Department from the House of Representatives, responding to 1,300 congressional letters, providing 40,000 pages worth of documents, provided testimony in over 100 hearings, and I thank you for all of that. I thank the State Department for all that you have provided, but unfortunately, it's too often quantity and not quality. And I would give you some examples in this as we move along. We have classified briefers frequently come with little or no answers to our questions or with absolutely nonsensical analysis. The documents are often just simply not what is requested. When I requested the plan to withdraw from Afghanistan, specifically the circumstances of withdrawal that we were going through at that time, I was not sent at all a plan on what we were doing with that withdrawal of Afghanistan, but rather I was sent thousands of pages that generally outlined how we would evacuate from any embassy, which was absolutely not what we were requesting, and that's well known, not how we plan to leave in that moment. This in turn results in an additional 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 requests. So when you look at the number of how many requests you get for inquiry, it's because you're responding to us with something that is not the answer to our original request, essentially making it a dog and pony show. You're getting, if you're upset about getting too many inquiries from Congress, it's because the quality of what you are sending us is poor quality. And moreover, the quality of the foreign policy is poor, and that is also why you are getting additional inquiries. That is what requires us to ask so many questions. That is why there are 38 separate investigations from the House of Representatives into the State Department. Some of the poor policies resulting in many inquiries include these, but would not be limited to these, but these certainly, I think, by most people's rationale for common sense, warrant investigation. Number one, I mentioned it already, the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, with thousands being left behind and those that are still there. That warrants investigation, and it warrants inquiries. Sorry if that's an inconvenience. Picking 9/11 as an exit date for the withdrawal of Afghanistan. That requires inquiries, requests for explanation, and unfortunately we've had requests for explanation and requests for witnesses go unanswered. Restarting funding to UNRWA after President Trump cut that off. That requires explanation. Taking the Houthis off of the foreign terrorist organization list requires answers. Having to revoke the special representative for Iran, Mr. Robert Malley, his security clearance, that requires investigation. Funding drag shows in Ecuador, that requires response from you all. When the State Department goes out there and does that, we deserve answers for why you would fund drag shows in Ecuador with the dollars of we the people. Building a port in Gaza or proposing to build a port in Gaza, that requires answers. Giving billions to Iran, giving aid to the Taliban. Hiring people at State Department because of their skin color or sexual orientation. When you do that, that requires answers. Flying a rainbow flag over the embassy of the Vatican, that requires answers. When you go out there and you limit U.S. energy export potential while advancing foreign energy export potential, that requires answers. Funding LGBTQ activist groups supporting prostitution in Colombia. Yeah, we want answers to that. When the ambassador to France is replacing paintings of the founders to replace them with paintings of transgender activists, that requires answers. And treating foreign aid like it's charity instead of a transaction, like sending $500,000 grant to Nepal to advance atheism, that requires answers. And I want to examine that aid to Nepal to advance atheism there of $500,000. And I apologize, I am going to go over the 5 minutes here, but I'll make sure to reciprocate the time to you if you desire it. In April, this is a long list of actions, and you can count on the fact that we're going to get into this in questions. I want to talk about the stonewalling that has taken place. In April 2021, a notice of funding went out that purports to use American tax dollars to expand atheist networks in the Middle East or South Asia. Then in 2022, June 30th, 2022, we sent a letter to State Department requesting information on this grant. Later in 22, we had not gotten a response, so we sent another letter. Fast forward into the next year, Chairman McCall sent another letter with questions asking for the production of documents. That would be number 3. Then you go later into 2023, HVAC staff emailed the department staff, your department staffs, to reiterate that its request be attended to expeditiously. That would be attempt number 4 after several requests had been sent. Move into September of 23, absent any correspondence, documents or written answers from the department or even acknowledgement of the other emails, HVAC staff emailed the department requesting an update on the status. That would be attempt number 5. Go into later of 23, absent any correspondence, documents, or written answers from the department. Again, sent an email and a correspondence requesting information. Fast forward into October. Department staff emailed HVAC, noting that it has now finalized a new production in response to this inquiry, but refused to produce documents until it received an assurance, quote, an assurance from HVAC regarding the department's serious concerns that information will be properly protected. I don't know that there should be a proper protection about atheist grants in Nepal, where we should not be allowing the American people to know what's going on there, but that was the response. October 19, 23, HVAC staff emailed department staff requesting state to produce all requested documents and schedule transcribed interviews. That was contact number 7. Move on to later in October, state made its first document production. 20 October 2023, first document production. Later, HVAC staff emailed department staff acknowledging receipt of the production, but noted that it did not include the documents that we know to be in State Department's possession. That was contact number 8 on one $500,000 issue. Go later, October 27, 23, department staff called HVAC staff director expressing alarm over transcribed interview requests of career State Department staff in the atheism grant matter. Not sure why that's a problem, but that's what you corresponded with us on. November, department staff emailed HVAC staff stating that it would immediately get to work on providing detailed answers to our questions. And contact number 9, we emailed you all noting that we have already submitted questions that have never been answered. Go on to a couple last contacts here. November 15 of 23, department staff emailed HVAC staff noting that the answers are being drafted and reviewed to provide information. November 16 of 23, HVAC staff emailed noting that today is the deadline and we cannot extend that deadline and we still haven't received the information. That was contact number 10. And November 28, 23, state failed to send proposed dates for transcribed interviews of these senior bureau officials. That's one example of one grant for $500,000 that I think most people would agree is absolutely a ridiculous use of the monies of we the people of the United States of America. Many of our questions did not get answered until this actually took place. The questions didn't get answered until HVAC staff were actually in Nepal, and while in Nepal, sought out the answers. It should not be faster to get answers from Kathmandu than from just down the road in Foggy Bottom. We expect better from the State Department, and we expect to hear specific answers from you on how you plan to do better starting immediately. In that, I apologize for going over my time, and I now recognize Ranking Member Crow for any opening statement that you may have. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.